All right. We are in the post show. If you want to jump in the post show chat, um, if you want to
Post
jump it,
show?
yeah, if you want to jump in the post show chat. Oh,
Should I drag Mino over?
um, yeah, I'll drag him over. That's fine. Black Cloud is playing Smash. oh, but seriously, thank you everybody for hanging out with us tonight and going through these terrible Lufanias. Oh, what are y'all drinking? My whiskey's gone.
I'm drinking absolutely nothing. I we don't have alcohol anymore in the house. That's a long story, but I'm not even that big of an alcohol drinker. But we had I don't know. I don't want to get into it. Why we don't have any more at all in the house, but basically it was just becoming kind of expensive and just what yeah expensive is probably the simplest way I can explain what happened.
It gets expensive. No, we don't. We're not particularly. We, we rarely drink in our house. Uh, alcohol, that is. So we did buy a bottle of wine not too long ago. So, but and usually we don't even have pop or anything else. I mean, I drink about 1 or 2 cups of coffee a day, and by cups I mean 8 ounces, and then it's pretty much all water. And I drink 80 plus ounces of just straight water every single day. So lots of water. Um,
Yeah, I've been drinking a lot of water lately, and I've kind of gotten back into drinking at least a little bit of tea again. I have so much tea that I purchased earlier this year. I didn't think it was going to be that much when I ordered it, but then when it got here, it was a lot more than I thought it would be. So I'm finally like, I got to start getting through this because I would like to drink it all before the expiration date. Yes, I know you can drink tea after the expiration date, but it starts to taste less and less good after the expiration date.
uh, yeah, I like tea. It does not give me the sense of Crystal Crown. This is Archer Danger Phone. So if you're a fan of the Archer series, this is a resource management advertisement watching game. So, hot toddy. Hot toddy, Risfoina says. That would be good. That would be good. Yeah, some good Christmas drinks. I love eggnog. Oh, man, I love eggnog.
I love
Love eggnog.
non-alcoholic, of course.
But we have been eating very, very healthy, and the it's called Archer Danger Phone. It's just a really simple resource management game. It has some funny stories. They do constant events. I mean, there's just nonstop event stories. So it's a good game you can play for a few minutes a day, or just leave it for a week and not even bother it. So. Yeah, I mean it's a cute little game. If you're a fan of Archer, so um, but yeah, definitely you got to deal with some of the ads kind of stuff. Yeah, Jin Lee, it's like, oh yeah, resource management. I love resources. The way I play it, yeah, it's really no pressure, whatever. But mulled wine. My wife likes wine that's pretty much grape juice with sugar. So she bought some. She was in some. My wife does some independent sales, and is a nurse. I mean, I've said that before, but so she was with some group doing some independent sales stuff, and somebody was selling wine, and so she got a sampler of wine, and she's like, sweet red, and so when she said that, her idea of sweet red is like fruit juice. A wine connoisseur's understanding of sweet red is still bitter ass wine that may be a little sweet, which I like. That's the kind of wine I like. Um, so, what would Archer say if your phone battery got low? Danger. Um, so, yeah, yeah, so we opened a little bottle, like little test bottles of wine, and we both had a glass, and she didn't like it. So and I had 2 glasses, and so she's like, "Let me try another one." So I had 2 bottles of wine, and she had none. So that was great before a meeting that I had. Oh, I do all my best work on a couple bottles of wine. But yeah, that's not recommended. Not
I'm back.
recommended. Hey,
What are we talking about?
Crease. We're talking about wine and Christmas drinks, I guess. What's your favorite Christmas drink? 2 bottles.
I don't really have a Christmas drink per se. So I don't drink anything specifically for the holidays. Like I don't really like eggnog,
Right.
which is the only thing I really associate with the holidays or with Christmas.
Drink those
Oh, yeah.
sparkling juices by any chance? Like
Sparkling what's?
sparkling juices like the Welch's red grape.
Welch's
Yeah.
sparkling grape juice.
I've never had them before.
Oh yeah, they're good.
Yeah,
the
you need to
sparkling
try
grape juice.
one.
Oh, so good. So good.
Sparkling juice. Okay.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
keep that in
They
mind.
usually sell it for like New Year's Eve and holidays. Welch's make. Oh, I love cider. Oh, I love cider. Yeah, I'm playing Sudoku. Mino, this is Sudoku. So
Okay.
Mino's gonna get pissed off here in a second.
Oh yeah. We can answer that question.
Oh yeah.
That was in the podcast questions that I didn't think we really needed to cover on the podcast proper, but might be a good post-show question.
Okay.
This might actually be a question that we've covered before. I don't remember anymore. But JD Terraforce asks, what would be the next power tier of weapons after LDBT? Have the hosts thought about any ideas? Have we covered this before?
I don't know that we've talked about this.
I feel like this is a conversation we've had. Maybe I'm mistaken.
Maybe it was a long time ago. So if we want to cover it again, we probably could.
I honestly have not thought about what the power level after LDBT is. Most likely it's going to go more in the direction of something like EX weapons is my prediction, more than something like LD or BT. Probably not like BT at all. So my suspicion is it'll be replacing EX weapons, though, as something that you equip as a permanent replacement to the EX plus realized EX weapons would be my supposition. Because they've been a weapon, because the EX weapons have been sitting there as a permanent slot on a character for a while now. The LDs were
right.
Just basically passives that were collecting, and burst weapons were the only weapons that were filling a slot. But they're for very select characters, so I don't know what it will be called, but it'll be something along those lines, would be my guess. Whether it'll take the form of a super realization, or something like along the lines of the super armor tokens, except for weapons. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see, that's for sure. Why is eggnog racist, Mino? I mean, it may be. I'm open to.
It is disgusting. I agree with that.
I'm open to. Yes, this is. Somebody asked, is this game actually called Guitar Girl? Yes, this is Guitar Girl.
This is not Sudoku. I feel lied to.
This is like Sudoku.
This is not Sudoku.
It's more anime Sudoku.
It's more tapping and playing music than Sudoku.
Sudoku requires you filling in boxes with numbers. There's no numbers here.
Mino, in chat, who is Asian American, just preface that for those listening at home, says Asians can't digest chicken, eggs, cow milk, or hops, alcohol naturally, so eggnog is innately racially exclusionary. I don't know if any of those statements are true. What's the deal with this girl's homeroom teacher? Yeah, so this is the story of the Guitar Girl plays out in these text messages. So her homeroom teacher text messages you, Yeah, he took a picture of her. Like, really? Good job. He like watched her at the school like show, right? It was more impressive hearing you live. Creepy. Thank you. I was really nervous. Really? You did so well that I didn't notice at all. Here's a picture I took of you. You really shined on stage. Great job. Now, I mean, that may seem normal, but yeah, there's some pretty, yeah. Yeah, so here, this is your homeroom teacher texting you out of the blue. Hey, guitar girl.
Isn't, like, one of your friends like really weird?
They're all really weird. Oh yeah, no, they're all psychopaths. I mean, someone's going to kill her. I don't know who it is. I mean, this is like a murder mystery game. I'm pretty sure. I'm sure she's going to be dead at some point. Yeah, hey, guitar girl. This is the homeroom teacher. The class president told me about your growing popularity on social media. I also enjoy watching you play. Oh, ha. Thank you so much. That was her. Can I request a song? Yes, of course. What would that be? I'd like to hear Mozart's piano sonata on the guitar. Yeah, creepy. Yeah, it's a game of intrigue, and I could play Dragon Ball Legends if that's if that's more like Sudoku for you. I don't know what I've done on Dragon Ball Legends today. I don't think I've played. Yeah, intrigue, mystery, suspense, drama. I mean, Guitar Girl has it all. So,
did you even finish what you were doing in Guitar Girl before you switched to another game?
Yeah, no, I just logged in for a second.
Okay.
I didn't have anything to do. Yeah, no, that's
gotcha.
It's nothing.
A lot of these games seem perfect for you because
how many games do
you're a very busy man.
How many games do you play? A few. What can I say? I play a couple games. That's all.
I don't blame Mark playing these kinds of games because, like, before we started the podcast, his son was just talking away, and I think I talked to him for a little bit, and he seemed kind of shy all of a sudden, which was funny.
Yeah. These. I mean, this is. I played so many dumb Dragon Ball clones. I just re-download Dragon Ball Legends because I can just play it. If I want to get a Dragon Ball fix, I can just play it for a few minutes and then put it down. It's a good game. If you like Dragon Ball, it's an interesting. It is an interesting game. It's really quite generous with the gacha. So I mean, it's a kind of fun, unique game. If you're not familiar with Dragon Ball Legends, so. But yeah, it is very generous on the what's cheating, on the gacha. So, but yeah, I mean, Guitar Girl in the Archer Danger Phone, those are games you can play for a few minutes a day or not play at all, and it's fine. I just picked this back up because I was, I don't know. Now, if you, depending on how you play Dragon Ball Legends, if you play it casually, it's super, super great. If you play it competitively, because it does have PvP, yeah, it can be toxic. Don't play PvP. Then you're fine. Don't play games that have PvP in them, and you're going to be. Don't play gotchas with PvP. That's a bad idea, especially if you're competitive. It's not good. So if you're not worried about PvP, you can just play, and have a good time, and not worry about it. Setzer LD delayed for technical reasons. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Are they going to release somebody else, or are they just delaying his release for now?
Looks like they're just delaying, I'm betting.
Huh. So what is... Let's, Minos posted something to Twitter here. Oh, good. It's in Japanese. Thank you, Mino. Thank you for sharing that Twitter post in Japanese that I cannot read whatsoever at all. I'll have to defer to your knowledge of the language that I don't read to know that it was saying Setzer's LD is delayed for some reason. COVID related or technical I don't know, what would technical reasons be? Kind of weird. What's a technical reason? It says his LD won't be released on the 19th. That's scheduled for technical reasons. That's weird.
That sounds like they just aren't on development pace.
Yeah, right? That's not good. Now we're going to get a slew of, oh no, the game is over kind of stuff, which we always get. We're going to be 6 months delayed. Game breaking, but Setzer is going to be so powerful they had to redo the entire game. He just broke the entire game. Yeah. Maybe that'd be fun. I've always liked his kit, so that would be cool.
Yeah. Isn't he supposed to get a rework too or something?
Setzer?
He might get a rework.
Huh.
What else?
I imagine his skill 1 could use a rework of some sort, but his kit seems decent. LD could just adjust his Brave and HP plus skills.
How many? I don't. These are not. This is Tag with Ryan. These are games my kids play. I really only play DFFOO.
So you know what's funny about Ryan's world is I was actually at the store one time.
Nothing. It's
and
awful.
I saw his stuff, and he's starting to look like he's getting a little too old.
He's 9, I think, 9 or 10. So yeah,
he's starting to look a little too old for the products he's trying to I guess, be excited for. And it was so strange seeing him on there's that big egg, mystery egg he has, and I saw a picture of him. Like, he doesn't look like he should be sponsoring the. He looks just too old to be like a kid's toy of that.
He is a multi-millionaire and the richest YouTube star under 18. So,
wonder what he's gonna do though. Is he gonna keep reviewing little kid toys, and that's just gonna be?
He's got all kinds of. He's got his own show on Nickelodeon. They've got 3 or 4 channels. His parents have their own channel. His little sisters have their own cartoon. His Ryan's Mystery Playdate on Nickelodeon. Oh yeah, the kid's got all kinds of crap. And he doesn't review as many toys as he used to. They do all kinds of weird things, on his YouTube channel. It's kind of like a variety channel. So
okay, so he's kind of an enterprising young lad. Okay, well he might make it then.
His parents sure are.
I always wonder how that works. Do they have to put the money in a trust? Do they have to follow the same laws child actors have to?
So much of it, I'm pretty well. Yeah, I don't know about YouTube. I'm not sure what the laws are with that, but yeah, traditionally that's how it works. So much of it has to go in a separate account, but. The story goes, now if it's true or not, who knows, but the story goes that his mother, who was a chemistry teacher, his father must work for, his father's Japanese-American, his mother is Vietnamese-American. I think they're both second-generation immigrant. Their parents would have been immigrants. He must work in Silicon Valley. They live in that area, and his father was obviously wealthy beforehand, and he works in programming or software or something. So his father worked in some kind of tech field and was already fairly wealthy. They had a decent living, I should say. Mom was a chemistry teacher, very smart. She's a very smart lady. And she quit her job because Ryan's like, hey, Mom, I'm watching all these YouTube unboxing videos. He's 5 at this point. Why can't I have my own video? And so she quit her job to start his own YouTube channel. Yeah. And now he's the most the wealthiest. So
she basically let him create a YouTube unboxing channel career.
Correct. And now they have a huge staff, of course, and they have a whole. He has 2 twin little sisters who are adorable, Emma and Kate, and they have their own, they're part of the show, and yeah, but it's like this, it's this weird it's this weird like mix up of childhood innocence and vapid consumerism. Like it's like some of the best, most wonderful, innocent parts of humanity, and also the worst, like wrapped in one package, selling my children crap they don't need. My children, by the way, have the Ryan's World Mystery Treasure Chest. They have the Ryan's World Ninja something kit. So they and all it's all RNG. I mean, it's all RNG, blind box, blind bag crap. So like they are well steeped in. We're talking about Ryan from the Ryan's World YouTube channel and the little boy whose game I am playing currently on stream. But yeah, he is the richest YouTuber under the age of 18, and one of the richest YouTubers, period. With his multiple, he's got exclusive toy deals through Walmart, Target, Amazon. He's got his own Nickelodeon deals. Yeah, I mean the kid is loaded. But yeah. So
I find it wild. Like he's like you know how like in the 80s how they try, they'd advertise to kids. It's like that, but they got a kid to be the mascot of it all. It's weird, and you really do start to think about it. But kind of brilliant.
It's not Sergeant Slaughter or Bumblebee telling you not to do drugs and stay in school. It's a 9-year-old selling my 9-year-old. But this kid is going to be so messed up. I mean, there's one video because my youngest, both my sons watch it, but my youngest son like loves it, and there was like they bought a new house because of course now they're like billionaires, so they bought this huge mansion in Silicon Valley or Southern California, right? And they're like, oh, we're gonna show Ryan's room for the first time. The kid, his bedroom, where he sleeps, is plastered with his face. Like all of his toys, his face is on his bed sheets, on his pillow sheets. He has posters with the kid is going to have a mental disorder. Like you don't walk away from that. Like that's like how you become a serial killer. Like you don't walk away a healthy human being when you live in a room surrounded by consumer products with your face on them. I don't feel like that's going to end well. I hope so, but I don't.
A lot of child actors, unfortunately, like child actors and child like stars, they don't grow up to be, I guess, healthy functioning adults. I understand your criticism there, but sometimes they turn out fine. Who knows?
Sometimes, not often.
How successful of a YouTuber do you have to be to make a regular salary? I don't know. I can check out Ryan's World here. They have multiple channels.
You have to be pretty successful, I think.
So Ryan has his main channel. They have several channels. Ryan's main channel, Ryan's World. Now, there's supplemental income, but just YouTube. They have 27.5 million followers. They are doing videos every single day. The most recent video has 500,000 views. From 2 days ago, 1.5 million views. So you're talking, million plus views every single video. They're putting content out every single day. Multiple different channels. They have toy deals, sponsorship deals, TV deals. But what would it take to I don't know, to live on a YouTube salary? I have no idea. A lot. I mean, you'd have to do it. I mean, you would. I don't think you would be able to just. You probably wouldn't want to just do YouTube. If you're doing game content, you want to do Twitch and YouTube and have a Patreon and OnlyFans, whatever you're doing, right? You want to have multiple ways of getting income. So why am I dumb? Yeah, the world is all vapid consumerism, but it doesn't have to be. So, so there you go. That's all my stuff. So
Yeah, Ryan is something else. I remember like the first time learning about him because his game was coming out on the Switch, the little racing kart game. I was like, who the heck is Ryan's World, or what is Ryan's World? And I looked it up, and yeah, I found out about how he's like the richest YouTuber under 18, and all that, and a couple other things. But I was just like, that's wild. I don't even know why his mom would allow that. Because, you don't think like most parents would allow their young child to make videos like that on YouTube. It just seemed kind of like weird to me. And I watched a couple of the videos, and I just thought it was weird. His parents were like all in these videos when they were going to like, I think like McDonald's or something, because they had his toys and like a toy line at one of those fast food restaurants. And I was just like, that is just really, it was just really surreal to me. I was like, I think I get it, but like, I'm not obviously the demographic, I'm a little too old for it. But I was like, I guess I could see where like little kids would find this like really exciting. It's a child star who's talking about the things they care about.
Oh yeah, I mean
YouTube's weird. Content directed towards young children does very well, or was doing very well on YouTube. I think the algorithm's been adjusted a bit because there was a lawsuit brought against Google. I think it was a year or two back, because YouTube was not supposed to be showing ads or supposed to be generating stuff for kids or for people under the age of 13, or basically YouTube, in its terms of service, people were not supposed to be using it if they were above the age of 13 or something. Which stuff like that is definitely your user base is under the age of 13.
Yeah.
There is obviously YouTube Kids, which was designed to get around that, but that wasn't actually where most of these places were popping up. So there was a lot of weird stuff going on, and I think YouTube got in some deep shit for that. I don't remember all of the exact stuff that happened there.
Huh. No, it is. I certainly wouldn't, I would not encourage anyone to, start their, I mean, if you're a young person and you have an idea and you try it on YouTube, great. And if it takes off, great. But it's a lot of work, and there's no consistent future in it. I mean, you might hit it big real quick and lose everything. I mean, it's really fickle, as a lot of stuff is with entertainment. So, but if you can find your niche, and if you're willing to hit big things, I mean, you're not going to make, we have a couple of our content creator friends who are trying to make a living of it, but, you're not going to make a living on just DFFOO. Even if you're the biggest DFFOO content creator, it's got to be tough. There's just not enough. Now, I mean, if you're streaming Among Us for 60 hours a week, maybe right now, or Genshin Impact, you had a good year, a good few months of Genshin Impact. If you're streaming Smash Brothers right now, if you can do that, that's going to hit you off for a while. So, does your video involve cursing? But I mean, people don't like to talk about it, but what they make and everything else like that. So it's hard to get a real sense of what people make on various things. But, I mean, if you just watch the people who are in our groups, we're making more money on Twitch, and, people are making more money on Patreon and other things like that than they are making from YouTube. YouTube ad revenue is very weird in how it works. So you got to get a lot of views to make some decent money there.
I have to agree with you, Mark. It seems like it'd be really hard, and part of me is like, I gotta think about how I want to say this because it's very critical. Okay, so when you are somebody who makes their living off of like streaming or YouTube videos and things, like that has to be a really hard way to live, because you are essentially a slave to the algorithms or to the whims of the public and the advertisers. So if something in those domains fall apart, it's not like a typical job where like, there's some sort of, I guess, a job security sense of things. And I'm trying to keep this as simple as possible without like getting too deep. So it just seems like it'd be very hard to maintain. So like, I understand why things like Patreon and the tip jars and things are a thing, but it's just like, I don't know if having to hustle like that is a way I'd want to personally have to work. It's fun doing this as a hobby, but if I had to do this as work, I don't think I would find much joy, or it'd be much harder to always come on and be excited and have a smile on my face about it. So props to those who are making a living, because I just can't find that to be a very easy way to live.
Yeah, I mean, right. I mean, I do this for fun. So you'll see, like, I mean, the last couple of weeks I've been working. We've had, an uptick in funerals and deaths in our congregation. It's a busy time anyway. We're recording 2 worship services a week now for this month. You got stuff going on with my family. So I've not been uploading anything besides our show and doing that kind of stuff. My wife and daughter, my daughter's going to go in for rehab here probably after Christmas. The boys are in school right now, so I'm going to have some time, when things are a little light in the church, hopefully. The boys aren't going to be in school. My wife and daughter won't be around, so I'll probably do some extra videos just because I have some extra time, gives me something to do, to keep busy. I'm just that kind of person. I always am doing something. So, so I mean, you'll see 4 or 5 videos in a week, maybe, and then maybe 1 video a week, and that's what it is, right? And that's just because I have, I'm responding to your message. I did know that, Crease. I don't know why Mina wouldn't have known that.
What? I just got here. I had to go get food. What did you say?
I mean, normally, I mean, it's usually professors have PhDs. I mean, right?
Wait, what message? Where was this? What is this said? What are you talking about?
You didn't know Crease had a PhD?
Did he say it in chat? I don't see this. Where is this?
No, it's in our private chat.
Why? What did he say? Why did he bring it up?
I just asked Arrow and Mark if they knew I had a PhD.
I assumed you had one because you work at a college as a teacher.
I mean, I guess you don't need. I mean, there are probably some teaching assistants, but right. I mean, most college professors I know have PhDs. So,
but I thought even the TAs usually, had at least like a master's. So, all right. So, do you want to be called Dr. Crease? No, because I mean, I know that most people are real picky about that. Do we need to call you Doctor?
No.
I'm tempted to do it anyway.
I was just asking because I was just curious.
I have a 90 credit hour master's degree, so Master of Divinity is my.
Yeah, well, you don't get a special title for masters.
No,
I do actually.
He's a reverend.
I do have a special title.
All right, but am I like under any obligation to call you that?
Yeah.
No.
You have to call me.
Oh, Reverend.
You have to call me Reverend.
No. It's like army ranks. They only matter to people in the army.
I'm pretty sure it matters in Mark's community that he's a reverend.
I'm not in his community. Mark, are you celebrating the that supreme? Fuck it, I'm done. I'm going back to eating.
So out of the co-host, I am the least educated, apparently, with my college degree, my bachelor's. I don't really. I like learning, but I don't really like college learning. I didn't enjoy college as much as I thought I would. It just wasn't quite what I thought it would be. So
Um,
I'm okay not going back anytime soon unless somebody pays me to do it.
Mino didn't graduate high school, so yeah, so
It's true. I got my GED.
that's tough.
I have pictures
I've
of
helped.
that too.
I've helped.
It was not tough at all. I
I've-
slept a year and then I went into the.
Wait,
I didn't
wait,
even take any of the
Nino.
classes and I took it and I just got it first try.
You're not kidding, are you? Like, are you actually being serious?
Yeah. Why would I lie about that?
You know what? That's right. We're supposed to take you 100% serious now. So
100% serious.
I'm sorry.
100% serious. 5DPZ, I was just talking about my the Crystal Chronicles. That's my YouTube channel. I mean, I do post videos on YouTube every single day for my work. So if you want to go to my church's website, my church's YouTube, you can see videos of me every single day. That's different. But I talk on the Crystal Chronicles. Sometimes I'll post several videos a week. So yeah.
A lot of fucking doubt here in the chat, guys. First of all, look, unless you're gonna graduate, unless you're going straight from high school to college, a high school diploma doesn't mean that much. You could, if you're gonna take a gap year, which a lot of people do, or you're gonna do whatever, you can leave high school early, get that GED, and actually get a head start in college. That's how all the really young people get into college. So I mean, yeah, I got a GED. There's nothing wrong with that. I went in, took a test. I didn't even study. It's like the SATs. Actually, it was easier than the SAT.
Yeah, I like I said, through my my program, I had to we have what we call Master of Divinity, but it is a 90 credit hour master degree, which is way too many hours for a master's degree. Likely, I will go back at some point to get my which would be my equivalent PhD, which is called Doctor of Ministry. So then I would be Reverend Doctor. My father is Reverend Doctor.
Oh, so Mark, just to interject, is it all right? I shared the link to the church channel on maybe the Discord or something. I mean, since 5 Deeps is also asking about that.
I'll share it. If I can find it here, I'll share it.
Yeah, okay. Because I didn't know if you wanted to like share that with everybody or not. Because it's kind of like, you know, it's a little more personal, I guess.
Well, it's public, so.
Zyros brings up a good point that I want to address.
Education is weird.
Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
It's all about how you can use it, not necessarily the rank.
And for most institutions, that is very true. Most institutions set a minimum degree requirement just to thin the number of applicants. And depending on what you do, you just need the perfect amount of certification to get through the door. Honestly, that is all it is for most things. Kreese, I don't know how it is for the educational system. You can educate me on that. But when I part-time in government, literally, I don't give a shit what kind of degree you have, as long as you have the work experience and the qualifications to back it up. You could have like a University of Phoenix diploma, but as long as you know, when we're in HR, when we do these interviews and these job checks, education is one of the least important things we fucking look at. I mean, you have to meet the minimum requirement, but other than that, it's work experience and accomplishments in the field. Otherwise, it's just to thin people out. Kreese, do you want to weigh in on your experience in that?
The thing is, to get the work experience, you usually have to have the education for my field. The only way you're going to get the education is on the way to get the PhD in the basic science field. I am unaware of how you're going to get it otherwise. I mean, there's some research assistants who have been in the field for 20, 30 years and have, through osmosis, learned that. just because they've been research assistants for labs for that long, and they've gotten some of the stuff. But that's a very slow process. They did not join that field to basically get those techniques, and it's a much slower it takes a lot longer in that way. So most people, they getting the PhD is getting trained to become an expert or become skilled in a field. And it's usually it's not about the techniques, it's about the way to think and how to solve problems is what I was taught. It's how to critically think, and also to get knowledge on a specific topic. So for me, it was pharmacology, which helps for teaching pharmacology, obviously. But it's also
I thought you taught nursing.
I teach nursing pharmacology.
Sorry, that was a bad joke. Keep going.
But anyways, the idea is that I lost track, but the basic idea is that academia does rely on rank.
Exactly. Chats has a great point. Zyra said that academia relies on rank because they built it. And Zyra saying, I work in government. That is correct. JD Terraforce saying software engineering here. Education and internship is the in. The rest is work experience.
Yeah.
Specifically for computers and tech. I live out here in LA and Silicon Valley. Everyone's tech here. I know somebody that didn't even get a fucking college degree who's designing the app for Disney's Star Wars Land or whatever the fuck it's called. Mm-hmm. He's the head developer on that because he went all the way up there through experience. They didn't get like in the tech and science departments, engineering you need a degree, but all of their interviews require technical tests. Practical tests, I believe they call it, practical interviews where you have to prove your skills. They give you problems to solve and you do it. Education's very minor there. And I'm not going to say education's not important. If or when I have kids, yeah, get a college degree because we said degree requirements are bars to filter out the riffraff. So you need that to at least take the test. But after that, it's all personal ability and experience for sure.
See, our system has two different tracks at the same time. If you want to be ordained in my denomination, you have to have a seminary degree, which means you have to have an undergrad degree. Seminary is basically a 3.5 year for me, just because I spread it out. If you do it intense for 3 years, you can do it 3 years. But again, it's like a 90 credit hour program. So you have to have that. But then, right, there's a whole nother ordination process, which is like a 10-year internship, very similar to what like doctors would do, right? So you go through, or teachers, you go through working as a student, then you're, what we call provisional, then you're, commissioned and you're certified, then you're provisional, and then after I think that's about 10 years to be ordained, and then that's kind of like 10-year in our system. So
sounds crazy.
Considering how much we make, it is kind of crazy. Although these days how much we make is a lot more than a lot of other people, so it's hard to call myself middle class anymore because
it's hard to tell because
there's not a lot of middle class people anymore.
I don't know if your salary changed. You shared it with us before, and then I shared the national average right now. I guess it's just inflation, or we don't know how much is going up. But I do know, I think I was actually having this discussion the other day. Mark, I believe your income's tax-free.
No, my income's not tax-free.
Okay, that is a misconception then. But you do get free housing and other perks.
So how it works, it's kind of backwards. So I am considered employed for federal and state taxes, and I am considered self-employed for Social Security. So I pay self-employment taxes and regular taxes on my income. So, yeah, you can opt out of Social Security. I would not do that.
Chris, do you get? Oh wait, do you get pension, Mark?
I do. So my base salary right now it ranges. When I started, it depends on the church and everything else and where we are, but my base salary right now is $50,000. So that's my base salary.
That's before tax.
That's before tax. That's my gross income. Yes, I do get double taxed. Get into that. For those of you who are outside of the U.S., it is a little confusing. It's confusing for us inside the U.S. too. On top of that, I have pension. I actually have several. I have a couple different pensions. I have health care, so that's paid for. So my health insurance is paid for. My pensions are putting in, I put in a little extra money. That money is not taxed. But I do have, if I didn't put any money, I would have pension. And then I live in a house that the church owns. So the church does not pay taxes on the property. Now, my colleague, the other pastor, makes more than I do. He's the senior pastor. I'm the associate pastor. We're contemporaries of each other. It just kind of worked out that way, and it's good, believe me, in a number of different ways. So he makes more. He makes $75,000 if you're interested. But he's the senior pastor. The buck falls on him, right?
Wait, I thought you were top of your church or something.
I am in a lot of different ways. I'm an elder, so I'm not a student pastor or anything. But I in a very strange move, I was appointed to this church as an associate. Normally, associates are student pastors or new pastors with lower salaries. We don't have a lot of churches with associate pastors. This church really wanted an experienced pastor to come in, so it makes sense.
Right.
And since I normally had been serving country churches, I was making about that, about what I am now, a little bit less. So, but yeah, so I mean, this is a suburban church, a wealthier church. But yeah, so I live in a house that the church pays for. The church owns the house. My associate gets a housing allowance. So him and his wife live in their own house, but they get a housing allowance that the church pays for. I do pay taxes on that. So the church does not pay taxes on the house. They don't pay property taxes, but I pay a percent of the value of the house as income tax. So I pay more than my salary on tax, but I can take a housing exclusion on anything I buy for the house.
This is so complicated.
It is
I never
super
That's really complicated.
It is
yeah.
super
So
complicated. It is
So
there's
complicated.
there's only one other vocation in the United States that has similar tax laws, and that's military. Lifelong military folks. They kind of have some similar things. So needless to say, I pay a lot of taxes. I think that's the bottom line is I pay a lot of taxes. Yes, there are some mega church pastors, some prosperity gospel pastors who, just like a lot of other rich people in America, find tax shelters and all that kind of stuff and do some bad things. And who pays for my salary? There was a question in chat. The church is who pays for my salary. So people give to the church, and part of the money that's given to the church goes for our salaries and staff salaries, keeps the lights on in the building. A lot of the money that comes into the church goes to help the community, missions, things like that, all across the world. So, but yeah, I mean, I am a full-time employee of this particular church, and I also am an employee of the conference that I serve. So I have, I have some conference responsibilities that are fairly important. So that's part of my job as well.
Yeah, and since it's sharing time, so I am a level 5 in and out associate, which means I get to work board and down. That's about $27K a year, but I only have to work 30 hours a week instead of the full 40. What is it? So the education requirement is different here because you need to, no matter what kind of degree you have to work your way up from a level 1 to a level 7. 7 is shift manager, and then once you are once you're approved, you can go to the in and out university, and then you have to take classes there to become a manager. And then when you become a manager, it's a whole completely different thing because then you get the full-time benefits. And then when you're a store manager, you're making like 6 figures. So it's like the long haul run there, right? And actually, that's all I have. Kreese, your turn.
I don't know what you're expecting. Like, I don't know what you want me to share.
Mino just wants to know how much you make so he can feel better about how much you
the
make.
path
Mino
to
knows roughly how much I make.
the path to where he.
No, so when I worked at McDonald's for the summer as a second job, yeah, they wanted me to quit college.
Why does everybody think I'm lying? This is really fucking rude.
They wanted me to quit college. I was in college, so I came home from college. I was working at the restaurant that I worked at since I was like 16, and
why do people think I'm the richest here? I don't. I mean, I make
professors. We talk about this. Assistant professors make okay. So, U.S. average, national average salary right now. I looked it up. Is $45,000 a year. That is the average single salary in the U.S. Of
45.
Yeah.
Don't you mean 75,000?
Average, national average.
The one
national
you linked
average.
for me.
I'm surprised it's 45,000. I honestly
national average for across the U.S. for everything. Yeah.
Everything, not your job. Yeah.
I honestly thought it was 40,000 still, but hey, what do I know?
Yeah, inflation made it 45,000. So everyone knows that apparently. Well, I didn't know. I learned it today, but apparently 5DPZ knows. He's in the educational field too, I believe. So that the average salary for your position is a good amount higher than that. So
national average, yeah, it is.
Right. So I mean, if Mark makes 50 and I make 27, then you're probably
then yeah, I am.
Richest. Yeah, you're the richest co-host.
Okay, so I don't make very much money personally, but I have a spouse who is the breadwinner. So that's why I tell you guys all the time, don't worry about me because I'm doing fine. And even then, like, I am a fairly frugal person, so I don't really blow my money on much, which is weird. So that's why I'm able to put it on like a video game every month, right? So there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, your path to where you are now, education requirements, experience, everything.
Wait. Oh, who is that for? I'm sorry.
Oh, that was for Kreese. Sorry, because I was throwing it to him real quick.
I mean, it's not too complicated. I went to college, got a degree, an undergrad degree in neuroscience. After that, I got a master's degree in public health. I wanted to I knew I wanted to go into research. So I switched tracks to PhD. I went into an interdisciplinary program initially because I hadn't really settled upon which track I wanted, and the interdisciplinary track allowed me to feel out multiple basic science programs. And in that, I found a pharmacology department that I liked and a mentor that I really enjoyed working with. And with that, I joined a lab that specialized in behavioral pharmacology and drugs of abuse, which is how I got my PhD in pharmacology.
Oh, Zyros is saying, Aerole, they want to hear your story next. Do you want to talk about?
Oh no!
I hesitate to ask Aerole because I don't know how much personal information she's willing to share.
Well, I'm okay sharing some. So, guys, I did graduate from college in 2010, which is not a great time to graduate. I don't care what anyone tells you. The recession in the USA was not over in 2009. Okay, so my working career has had. It's not gone the way I thought it should. That's putting it I'm going to try to keep it simple because otherwise I'm going to
Yeah.
complain. And I don't want to sound like I want to complain about it because I'm fine nowadays. But I do not like how you were told go to college, get a degree, and you'll be fine.
Yep.
Because that's a lie. I'm sorry, that's a lie. It didn't work out, and it doesn't work out for a lot of people. So just to cut the story short, I don't want to talk too much about my career because it's kind of been all over the place at this point. So where I'm at now working is fine. I wish I could have full-time work, but I just don't seem to be able to get the interviews or whatever, or like I can't seem to get a job that pays what I feel would make it worth it to leave where I'm at, because I make actually a pretty good hourly wage doing what I do. And most other jobs aren't even going to pay me anywhere like I might make a little bit more, but I'd have to work a lot more hours. So it kind of doesn't wind up making sense financially to move, especially if I kind of like the job I have, which is actually a first. I've not ever really liked most of my work. So to have a job that I don't mind is nice. I just wish I could be back there because it sucks with COVID to not be able to work. And I know a lot of other people probably, I'm lucky that I have a spouse that is still able to work from home, unlike me with my job. And we are doing okay because I keep finding like short-term temp jobs somehow to keep doing. But I don't really want to keep doing that. Hustling like this sucks.
Yeah. I graduated college in 2008. The only reason I didn't really have to deal with the housing crisis is because I went back. I just stayed in school. I stayed in the education system. I had family members who were basically suffered from the work, from basically work being impossible to find at the time. So It was awful.
Yeah.
So
Mark, did you get my
Mino just sent me a picture of his associate's degree.
Right, I was wrong, guys. I thought GED was my highest. I couldn't find a picture of my GED to send Mark for proof.
Got his associate's degree.
Community college associate's degree in liberal arts and
arts associate degree.
So
it's like the worst thing
Mark,
you can
Mark
have.
never lies. If you don't believe me,
It is. I do have visual proof
I have
of
proof for Mark right
Mino's
now.
associate degree in liberal arts. No, so I graduated college in 2003, and among my entire group, which would include people maybe 2 years older than me and 2 years younger than me, kind of in our club, 100 or so folks. Me and one of my friends are the only two people working in careers that we really needed to have college degrees. And both of us had to go on and get additional education. I had to go to seminary. He had to go to law school. He's a lawyer. And so, even back then, before the housing bubble burst, college was certainly not a great road for everyone. It cost me, so I went to 4-year college out of state, private liberal arts college, minimal scholarship. I had a music scholarship. I went to school on a music scholarship. I lived there. I ate there. I worked there, part-time at the library as a work study. I walked away from college with $20,000 in debt. Not bad. A lot of you probably walked away with a lot more a few years later. A few years later, I went to seminary, again, 3-year. I did not live there, which is in Evanston, Illinois, which is a terrible place to live if you're poor. And there's a lot of homeless people there, so maybe not. But it's an expensive place to live. 3 years, bought all my books. I was a student pastor making $15,000 a year. I had housing, thankfully, but so I had my house. I had $15,000 in cash. That was my salary. Commuted, paid for all my gas, paid for all my food. I didn't live there, paid for all my books. The only thing I did was take out money for tuition, take out loans for tuition. I ended seminary with $60,000 in debt. So I have a lot of colleagues in my same kind of age range who have deferred their seminary and college loans. Two of my dear friends I went to seminary with, they walked away combined as a couple from college and seminary because they lived there in Evanston, where I went to school up at Northwestern. They walked away from seminary with $150,000 in debt. They could not go into ministry. They could not become pastors. They had to go into the private sector to make money to pay off that debt. So, I mean, it's just, it's definitely not, especially if you have kids, but if you're a younger person, thinking about your next direct, you definitely want to, get as much scholarship potential as possible, or really think about that. My wife started college at NIU. I think she lasted a semester, maybe dropped out. Really, she wanted to become a nurse, but it was just too much for her at that time. Worked for Walmart for 15 years and Menards in the distribution center for several years, and then went back and got her associate's degree, and then was a nurse, has been a nurse for many years, and then went back and got her BSN. But she took her time and it worked out, and there's going to be we're going to need a lot of teachers and nurses. So if you're looking for jobs.
I think surplus on teachers right now. I wouldn't say that right now. I have a lot of not a lot.
Oh, after this year, mass retirements, burnouts.
Maybe. You might be right.
The higher education for scientists and researchers is kind of in a weird spot, and I don't know how things will be in like 5 to 10 years. It's kind of hard to say. Right now, there's a situation where there's a lot of older people with PhDs who aren't retiring yet, and until the older population retires, it's awkward because basically the funding line is so hard to get grants funded that it's like you need to be in the top 5 to 10% percentile to get funded if you want to do research in most fields for anything. It's cruel, basically.
To take a different stance, as was my job on the podcast, a lot of people were in chat and saying things like agreeing with Eroli, like, yeah, that was me. College is a prime example of I was told that if I go to college, I'll have a lot of job opportunities. Times just change. The reality of college in the last 10 years and moving forward is that college is actually just a stepping stone to internships, which are the stepping stone to jobs. A lot of people who just go to college and grab the degrees now, they're not going to have any luck because as we all know, the meme for the last 10 years is this entry-level job is asking for 2 years of experience. Like, LOL, how do you get 2 years of experience when you just got out of college? The reality is, once you hit your junior year, at least in the United States, you need to apply to those internships to get those 2 years of experience. And the problem is, to relate this back to DFFOO, because we're way too fucking off topic, is that going to college just to get a degree, just because you're told that it'll get you jobs, is like bringing the preset team to a Lufania fight and not understanding how it was. I was going off on a rant in the mod channel today. I was like, this guy on Facebook was complaining that he brought the exact team people told him to bring, which was Warrior of Light, Lightning, and Kurosame, and Reno CA, and Ami Friend Unit.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I did everything they said, but how come one of the imps still got the shield? And then people are like, well, because you didn't use Warrior of Light's lock, which is a 6th framed debuff in that team comp, to completely block out the shield. And he's like, what does that even mean? And it turns out he didn't understand that in this game there are only 6 debuff slots, and if you put 6 framed ones on, the enemy can't put on their framed shield on. So it comes this whole understanding. It comes back to, am I doing this because I'm told to do it and it'll work, or do I understand the intricate like why this works? All right. If this was a fucking podcast, I'd make this in giant circle back to, hey, pull for fucking, like, understand the game rather than just copying team comps. But yes, back to the college analogy. Degrees don't mean shit now. Now it's experience, internships when you get into college. Warn your younger relatives. Well, actually, anyone aiming for like the Ivy Leagues at this point, or the UCs, know that it's internships are where it's at. The degree alone with no extracurriculars is. Oh, sorry, Kreese, you wanted to say something?
No, you're right.
I want to say something though. So I was just saying in chat, like, yes, you do have to do these internships, but here's the problem. You usually don't get paid to do said internships. What gets me about this is, though, you're not usually just shadowing people anymore and kind of learning how to do the job. They have you freaking working. So they should be paying you something, but they don't. So you basically have to take unpaid labor while you're in school, and you may not be able to do that for any other reason. So this is like totally a massive privilege thing that people don't really understand. So then you get told, well, why didn't you just pick you up by your bootstraps? Well, I don't know. I only had so many problems going against me. I may not have the transportation to go to said internship. I may not be able to fit it into my schedule for any number of reasons. Because, I mean, come on, we all know what a college schedule looks like. And this is like, we're not even talking about, other extracurriculars you might be doing on campus if you have those, and or even familial obligations or anything else. So it's just like the amount of just crud that comes with that is amazing to me. And I'm shocked that like nobody sees it as a really big, I guess the higher ups in government don't see it as a problem, because they went and did all that stuff while, having the support networks and not having to worry about anything on top of that, like actually living life.
So I'm not sure how it is on a national level. In California, we have the UC schools that are pretty famous on a national level. The University of California schools that are some of the best public schools. And what it is that a lot of companies do pull from those programs for paid internships. Actually, now that I'm looking it up, I think unpaid internships in California are illegal at this point. And then at the government level, they always offer paid internships as well. But I'm not saying like you have to hustle for, but the thing is, you use the university. A lot of companies have agreements with universities for internships and paid internships or work experience programs, at least here. I'm speaking strictly from a Californian point of view. Like, I know there are big companies like Blizzard has a partnership with UC Irvine, and their art department and their programming department to pull people in for paid internships. Looks like Riot has one with USC. Yeah, Riot has one with USC. Looks like California, a lot of the UCs have partnerships with a lot of businesses for internship programs and like setups like that. So what I was at least saying, without addressing Arolai's thing, because I don't know how things are where Arolai is, but in California, for sure, your foot in the door in California to all these huge companies is you need to get into a good college first, and then they'll accept you for their internships because they exclusively pull from there. Kreese, you had something to say if you want to finish it off, since you're
I don't remember what I was going to say. I was going to say that education is now the big. No, I remember what I was going to say. Experience is now the factor. College degrees alone mean squat. It sucks because it used to be that college educations alone or college degrees alone was enough to at least get your foot in the door. And that's no longer the case, because I had friends who were able to get their foot in the door just from their degrees alone. They didn't need the experience to get that, but as soon as the housing market crash happened, that all changed. That ended. That was basically the end of that.
Oh,
final. Oh, I was going to say, Final Asim's asking, does that kind of system apply to healthcare professionals? Well, I can tell you, and I'm sure Chris can tell you a little bit about that too.
Housing, what I can tell you is that nurses are getting the experience while they get their degree.
Yeah.
They do not get the option of not getting the experience.
Yeah. So as you get your most hospitals and programs now, well, most hospitals especially, there's different levels of nurses too, right? Yeah, but I mean, just for your normal RN, most of them now are moving towards BSN, so 4-year degrees, and you have kind of like a residency, to kind of get your hours. The same with like, if you're going into counseling, I mean, that's kind of how I started. I wanted to go into counseling, psychological counseling. You have your hours, so you kind of go in and you have like hours that you put in kind of as a resident or an intern. You get that before you then are kind of graduate, or kind of like a student teacher as you're graduating. I mean, it was kind of similar for me as a student pastor, right? Doctors have their own kind of, you start as a intern, resident, attending, they have their whole system. It's, my daughter has several needs, and the hospital that she goes to is a teaching hospital. And so you kind of see all the different levels of, doctors from early on till 2 tenured doctors. And then, nurse practitioners now is a really big thing too. So, nurses who go on to have even more advanced nurse practitioners, APNs, clinicals, Cyrus, but more training than a normal nurse, that they can do a lot of the things doctors can do, so general practitioners can do. So it's cool because Lori's, the hospital that my daughter goes to, they have a huge advanced nurse practitioner program too, so that the advanced nurse practitioners pretty much are like on the, if you watch like Grey's Anatomy or ER or any of those kind of hospital shows where they have the interns and the residents and the attendings, kind of the same system.
Yeah, and
but it's built in. I mean, it's like the academic system. It's built in, right? You talked about that earlier.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and I'm saying
for nurses.
Sorry,
for the nurses, it is part of their training that they will get those clinical rotations. Like, it is part, they will not graduate and get their RN unless they get the clinical hours. My university has agreements with several hospitals in the area, so that the nurses can get their clinicals.
And what you guys say are true. It's that yours are built in, but that is the whole concept of school. Jay Terraforce is saying that universities in Florida work the same way, and Florida is the wing of America. So I have to believe that if they're also employing the same system, then a lot of national level universities across in all these different states have partnerships with local businesses for those internships, right? At least in California, 100%. You go to a UC, they have tons of that. Like, that's why you go to a UC, because they have those connections to get you into it as part of the curriculum. Like the like if you do game development at USC, they have partnerships to put you into that experience and make you do it. But the thing is, it's just that's honestly what it. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, that must have came after I was done with school, because when I was in school, no. And I was in one of the top 10 schools in my state, actually in the top 5. So they did not provide any kind of support to me to get a career before I graduated or even after I've graduated. So they didn't care when around that time. And I don't think it's changed too much in my state as far as I know. But I don't know any college age
your state has some really good in-state scholarships, though, right? If you
used to, that's kind of been weakened a lot. I luckily did get in when they were still good, but right when I graduated, it became crap, and it's only gone a little bit downhill from there. And there's been a lot of juggling back and forth about maybe we should restore some of that in our, in our state's House of Representatives and Senate. but nothing ever really has changed since it started going downhill.
Yeah, for years. I mean, as long as you stayed in the state and you were, you went to, if you were from the state of Georgia and you went to college in the state of Georgia, there was great scholarship. I forget there was a name of that scholarship.
Yeah, it's the Hope Scholarship, and I did take advantage of it. And you do have to keep your grades up, and to really get the full amount, you also had to go to a public university, like in the state. So there's a lot of caveats to it. But even then, my school did not have, like I said, the support network to basically try to nail you internships and anything, or to they kind of had like some career stuff, but they didn't really put any effort to help you get connected. And that's very frustrating now that I'm done, that I finished school and had all the problems that I did. So I kind of get really upset about it. And that's why I was trying to not say too much, because I know I could kind of go on into a tirade. And I know people don't want to hear that on a podcast post show. So I will save that for regular chat in Discord if people want to go there, but I'm not going to do it here.
And then there are always, if you're really frustrated with the educational system, there are always meritocracies like In-N-Out, where I went, where it's purely you work your way. Like, no, seriously, like people can come in with master's degrees. They have to start as a level 1 associate and work their way up to the ladder one by one. They don't get preferential placement mark because of any educational background. So if you guys, In-N-Out's always a very good place to work. We're always looking for more people if you want it.
So is the military.
Yeah, that's true too.
So,
wait,
as long as you're not trans.
For a lot of
military,
different
don't
reasons.
they have special like officers programs for?
No.
There are
if you
officers programs,
right, there's a couple different things you can do in the military. You, if you graduate college, you can apply to be in the officer program in entry. So you could start in whatever branch as an officer, or you can go to a military college. That's another option. Obviously, you need to have really good grades and do real well to do that. But
sorry, Mark, really quick.
Yeah.
I don't know why Drez64 has the gall to ask a DFFOO question in this channel right now, but he's asking what was the best overall banner of 2020. In my opinion,
good question.
It was the Saz Raijin banner, easily, by far. Are Lufania viable and can carry you all the way through chaos from 8+ months ago. That was easily the best one to pity. I famously got Saz instantly and then pitied Raijin, and I thought I regretted it. Raijin came in clutch these last 2 weeks. Saz again for the Ceph Lufania for me, and then all throughout chaos they were used as well before Lufania hit as well.
I mean, you don't think Aranea Noctis was the best banner of 2020?
Sorry, I don't know. Stop asking DFFOO questions. Final Ace, I'm saying, do you still hate Raijin's gameplay style, Mino? Yes, I do.
Yep, me too.
I plug him in.
I hate it.
I plug him into the fucking comp, and I forget he's there because the other two characters are doing all the work. And then when he's there for his one job to paralyze, it's not ready. It wasn't ready in Cam. I needed a supplementary paralyze in Cam and Reno, because his paralyze was not up as often as the mechanics were, because he took 2 turns for every 10 enemy turns. So yes, still fuck Raijin, but he proved his worth in being valuable. But his playstyle, if your playstyle revolves around you taking as little turns as possible, you are not a well-designed character. Okay? The only way they made it work is that his auras are fat as shit, and he doesn't need to take any turns. In fact, every time his turn comes up, you're like, oh shit, this is a suboptimal turn. I need to get this over with until my other 2 characters can play. Like, Raijin's a shit designed character, but a very strong character. Orobots are fucking boring. Anyone watching my FF6 playthrough, I hate Mog with a passion. He needs to die in a fucking fire. But yeah, sorry. Back to you, Mark.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think pre LDBT, Arenea's banner lasted a long time. I really enjoyed the Lightning Hope Shadow Triple EX banner, but I mean, I do think Mino's right that Rage and Zaz banner is still paying off. Obviously, they're they're great characters. I don't know about in the burst era if there's been one banner in the last 3 months or 4 months now that's really stood out as like, oh, this banner. I mean, besides Lightning, I guess. Like, are any? I mean, maybe Noctis. Kind of carried the longest, I guess. Bosch did okay for a while. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely kind of moved from pull this character and rely on them like Aranea for 6 months to, every 2 weeks pull a different character or 2 or 3 different characters. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, folks. Well, I think I need to get to bed. I have my kids got last day of school tomorrow. Yeah, so apparently Mino's going to stream on Christmas Eve.
I guess. You're taking 2 weeks off, so you're taking
Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. Yeah, are both on Thursday.
Wait, New Year's Eve is on Thursday?
It's always a week right after Christmas.
Eve and New Year's Eve are always on the same day.
New Year's off. I'll be on both of those days, guys. No worries. I will solo cover the fucking update if that comes on the 28th. I'll be here New Year's Eve, maybe, probably. I don't know.
Final ASM will join you. So.
I'll be here all the time. Maybe I can sucker in other people like Ink's Jewish, so I'm pretty sure he's gonna be free Christmas Eve. He'll probably join me. Black Cloud's always simping, so he'll probably be here. Yeah, for anyone watching the off stream, me, Inkwelder, and Black Cloud, and sometimes Macnol have been streaming a lot of off streams whenever, and Black Cloud's words, not mine, called it the TCCA team. I don't know where he came up with that term. That's very offensive, and I disagree with it, but it's been thrown out there. So, if you have a problem with that, message PM Black Cloud on Discord. So, we'll probably be around for the holidays. I'm stuck here. I think I have the lowest seniority in my current department. So I volunteered to work the holidays, and what that means is streaming on company time. And, probably play a lot of FF6 as well. But no, we'll be covering the DFFOO news. Me, I've started to stream all the events. I'll be here for Kieran on Sunday and Rude on Wednesday, etc. So always some fucking content here. I know there's a lot of international people that don't have the same emphasis on the holidays, so you'll have company.
Yeah, guys, it's like if we do anything, it's just not going to be podcasts because I think I'm going to be busy for Christmas. I know that for sure. I don't know about New Year's Eve, but if we decide to do something, we will let you guys know.
Oh yeah, Black Cloud's gonna appreciate that you said that. So
what did I say?
that you and Black Cloud and Inkwelder are the A team.
No, Black Cloud said that. Take it up with him. I didn't say that. Do you watch these off streams? What's your name?
Mark is my
Mark.
Yeah.
Yes.
I do
watch?
I do watch them.
You watch all of them?
I do. I've watched all of them.
Did you see that part where we said that? Or Black Cloud said that? Did you? No, see, it didn't happen. I know you're lying. I wanted to see.
Oh yeah, I know.
Okay, so guys, I have to get going. I have to get up for work in the morning early.
We've gone way too long. Let's call it here.
It's all good. It was
Mark,
fun talking with you guys.
I will. Thanks everybody. We'll talk to you later. Happy New Year. Happy holidays.